All right, guys. Good morning. It's Monday morning. Hope the ice storm and everything went well for you last week. This week looks like we're gonna have some amazing weather. We're gonna be in the 70s, I think, by Wednesday, so it's gonna be absolutely fantastic. Texas, weather in Texas, you never know. Anyways, going over the nutrition challenge that is kicking off tomorrow. Now, this is a completely voluntary process that you can go through with this. And you can make this as easy or as difficult as you want to go with this. It's completely up to you. For me, I'm going to be extremely strict on this because I have some pretty significant goals. My goal is actually to drop 20 pounds over the next 3 weeks, or I'm sorry, the next 4 weeks, the next 31 days. So that is my goal. Your goal may be different. Your goal may be, I only want to drop 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds. For me, it's 20 because, again, I'm a bigger guy. I have a little bit more volumization to go with this. Plus, I also want to start feeling better. I mean, I'm feeling good as is, but I think dropping 20 pounds more, especially with jiu-jitsu and cycling coming up, will make a dramatic difference on performance. All right, so first and foremost, how are we going to get this kicked off? Number one, you need to set a goal as far as what you want to do. So that's going to be the first thing, setting a goal. Whether, like I said, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds, 25 pounds. But be realistic with this. That is the number one thing, is being realistic. 20 pounds, I think, for me is going to be, pretty significant. I'm about 242, 245. So dropping down to about 225-ish is going to be a good realm for me. So that's going to be my goal. So how are we going to do this? Obviously, we need to be in a caloric deficit. Okay, we're going to be going into a caloric deficit. But then we're also going to be going into basically maintaining our exercise patterns. All right, so let's talk about the caloric deficit first. I have had a habit in the past of doing this way too technical, going into different calculations, Mifflin St. George, different other type of nutrition calculations. We're going to make this really easy today. We're going to make it much easier today. We're going to talk about two things: your maintenance calories, and then your basically your drop calories, all right? Or what we're going to basically adjust up with this, all right? Okay, number one, establishing what your maintenance is. Now, again, there are a variety of calculations to where you can go out and set up what your maintenance calorie level is. Real easy. Let's make this simple, super simple. Take your current body weight. Me is 242. Multiply times 14. That gives me right about 3,400 calories. I'm sorry, 3,600 calories for me. So that right there is a good number to work with. All right. So that's how many calories I would need to eat to maintain my weight right now. Now I'm actually in the process of dropping already, so that's absolutely an irrelevant issue. All right. So that's the first thing. Set your goal up with that. Now we need to establish what your calorie level is going to be when you set up on your cut. So now take your goal body weight. So for me, again, 225. I'm going to multiply it times 12. That comes up right at about 2,700 calories. So even by doing that little bit, it automatically puts me in a deficit. So that's absolutely fantastic. That's going to be a good way for me to get set up with this. All right. So again, take those numbers, get it figured out. Now, here's how we actually qualify this and figure out where we put this into play. Whatever your goal weight is, all right. So again, 225 for me. I'm going to calculate up 1 gram per pound of body weight for protein. All right. So I'm going to be shooting for 225 grams daily of protein that we can go with. Now, if you think that's a lot of protein, it really isn't. If you've ever tracked your calories before, you can figure out really quickly that this is a pretty easy way to actually drive in your calories. And if you can't for whatever reason, there's protein powders, there's other avenues that you can actually get set up with this to help out with that. Now that we've established what your protein is and what your calorie level is, now we're going to sit there and actually we can basically fill the rest of it in. Now, I am not going to sit there and actually be super high tech or really specific on what I'm eating. I don't care if I'm getting in, 15 calories this or 20. I'm not going to get into that realm. I'm going to basically eat what I need to eat as long as I stay within my calorie level. All right. Now, I'm doing something a little different. So for me, there's two ways that you can normally set up and do this. You can start at your calorie level, and then each week you incrementally decrease down every single week. So for example, 2,700 calories. The next week we drop down to 25, then we go to 23, then we drop down to 21. I'm actually going to go for a inverse aspect with that. So I'm going to actually start on the lower end. So I'm going to start up right at 2,100 calories per day, I'm going to go into the low end of that. And then the next week, I'm going to increase up to 23. And then I'm going to increase up to 25. And then by week 4, I'm going to be at 27. The reason for that is because that way it gives me something to work into. For most people in this situation, I've done this many times. It works very well for me in order to be able to do that, because it is a very simple thing of as I just start feeling like shit through this process, and you will actually start feeling like absolute crap. Getting those extra calories will help you fuel those workouts up as we go through each week going through. So what am I going to be eating, you might be asking? I'm going to give you a rundown exactly what I'm going to be eating, all right? And I've got it set up into, basically I've got my one day, I've got a day 1 and a day 2, or A and a B plan. And it's all dependent on what I'm actually doing for that particular day. So on Tuesday, as an example, most of my days I'm starting out with oatmeal. I'll go with either half a cup or 3/4 of a cup of dried oatmeal. I'll cook it, I'll put in some skim milk, and then I'll have a protein shake with that as well. Or I may have some eggs, things of that sort. So that's what I'm going to be doing with that. All right. So my breakfast is going to be oatmeal, a little bit of almond milk, a protein shake with water, and then maybe a banana or a pear or something along those lines. That's going to be my breakfast. For my lunch, I'm going to have a big ass salad. All right. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to go to Kroger. I'm going to get those bags of salad. I'm going to pack it in, and I'm going to put some type of protein in with that, whether it's chicken, fish. I'm probably going to start getting a little bit more in salmon. And so we're going to go with that. We're roughly going to go about 4 to 5 ounces of that. If it's a salmon, I'm going to go probably a little bit low on the lower end with 3 ounces, because it's going to be a fattier fish. If it's going to be chicken breast or chicken thighs, it'll probably be closer to the 4 to 5 ounces range. And again, just making sure that I can get in my protein consumption in with that. All right. And then dinner, it's going to be some type of salad. Again, I may have a little bit of rice. I may have a little bit of something, that goes with it. Maybe a potato, half a baked potato. And then I'm going to have my proteins with that as well. Now, my snacks for my lunch, for my mid-morning and my mid-afternoon snack, I'm going to be having fruit, a lot of fruit. I'm probably going to go with alternate between watermelon, pineapple, bananas, pears, strawberries. When you sit there and look at it, fruit is absolutely fantastic when it comes into a snack, particularly when you're looking at watermelon and different factors of that sort. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. When you are getting into that point to where you're starting to get really hungry, you can get a pound of watermelon. A pound of watermelon. It's 140 calories. That's absolutely fantastic. Same thing, you could go with about a pound of strawberries if you like strawberries. Guess what? It's about 140 calories. So you can be very consistent with that and maintain a good caloric balance with this. All right. Now, here's a couple things that I am not doing. Is I am cutting out all alcohol. Now, I really don't drink a whole lot to begin with. I'll have a cocktail, I'll have a beer, all things of that sort. But for this next 30 days, I'm cutting out all alcohol out of my system. Why? Real simple. Alcohol is a carb. I want to have my carbs. When I'm training jiu-jitsu or when I'm cycling, I need to have those carbohydrates in my system to be able to sit there and actually sustain my activity. So if I have any alcohol, that's just going to take away from any of the carbohydrates that I normally would have with my training. And I don't want to do that whatsoever. So again, the biggest factor with this is that you can be as strict with this as you want to, or as loose with this as you want to. This can be a very strict process. Now, if you were to decide to go strict with this, I'm going to tell you right now, this is not sustainable. All right. You should not go beyond 30 days with this. You could do maybe 30, maybe 45 days, but this is not a sustainable process. There are different programs, and I'm actually going to come out with some new videos talking about ways that you can get into a weight loss deficit plan. You could go 30 to 45 to 60 to 90 days and still maintain a good deficit with this. But this is not a program for that. Now, exercise. You are still exercising. I'm still going to exercise. However, a couple things that you want to work with this. Number one, the intensity of your exercise will have to dramatically diminish. Now it's not a case of gaining strength, but now it's about maintaining strength so that you can actually maintain with far less effort than you normally would. Second of all, cardio. Cardio in this sense is not going to be built for fat loss. All right. The diet is going to handle the fat loss. The cardio in this instance is going to be focused around recovery and improving up your cardiovascular system so that things do improve up all the way through. We want to improve up our stroke volume. We want to improve up our recovery factor. That is what the cardio in this instance is going to be dealt in with this. You want to go out and exercise 5, 6, 7 days a week. All right. Go out for walking. I think walking is completely underrated as far as how effective it can be, particularly when you're in a deficit, because again, your body is not going to want to go at a high capacity for exercise. It's going to want to go at a lower realm because you are not going to have simply the fuel to work with this. So your body's going to have to negotiate with this, with what it does have available for them. All right. So guys, I'm going to send out a couple more videos about this. Like I said, I'm doing this real raw. I'm trying this video stuff out, and a lot of this technology stuff is not, I'm a sets and reps kind of guy. So anyways, I'm going to send a kind of a synopsis with this, but remember, number 1, check your calories, set a goal. Number 2, establish what your maintenance level is. Number 3, set up what your cut calories are. Okay, remember your goal weight times 12. Number 4, set up your protein values with that. All right, and then number 5, just be consistent with this. All right, that's going to be the big thing. Guys, that's it for today. I will send some more information out probably tomorrow, and I'll be sending stuff out later on. But if you have any questions, shoot me a message, and we'll check you next time. Peace out.